Welcome everybody, Drake Hawkins with you, and today we get to start another series on Endzone, A World Apart. This will not be a quick little slam-through showcase. We're going to enjoy this one as we roll through, so if you're here for a good time and a long time, you're in the right place. We got version 1.0, well, 1.0.77472.25951. There you go, that's the version we're on. I don't know what all those numbers mean, but I know this means we're at full final release. Well, not final release, out of early access on Endzone A World Apart. So, let's roll the intro for this thing because you can't play Endzone A World Apart without looking at this beautiful intro.
Humanity survived. Our ancestors have destroyed the world, and we had to pay the price. With over 100 years without sunlight, but we have prepared ourselves for our chance to make things right. They stole from us a life of happiness. Still, we will make the best of it. Even though Mother Earth is grim and tainted, we have managed to survive. And we will keep surviving.
That gives me chills every time she says that. Keep surviving. Oh, I love it. Alright, so let's have a look at the map that we're going to do. I actually have to grab the key from it. What is this? Copy, share, code, to clipboard. Sure, maybe that's how it works. Don't know. Let's see if we can paste this in somehow. How do we do this? Use a sharing code. Aha! Paste. Adopt a sharing code. Nope, this is going to be Alba. Because cool. Alright, so. What is Endzone A World Apart? Best compared to things, game styles like Banished, post-apocalyptic, as you can tell, about 150 years in the future, and I do mean in the future from us because it's set...
This looks like a good place to settle. You know what we learned in the Endzone? Basic needs come first and foremost. We have to build up a water and food supply, and then...
Thank you, Thebolt. So, about somewhere around the ominous date of the year mid to late 2021, the story goes that terrorists detonated multiple explosions in active nuclear reactors that, of course, went critical and obliterated the skies, causing nuclear winter, and that was 150 years ago. Is now 2171, and we are one of the first groups to emerge from the end zones, which of course were nuclear fallout shelter type bunkers, and we're a little steampunked because that's how you live when you're living underground. So what we're going to be looking at here, I'm going to start by hitting space to pause things. The interface, this first episode is going to be mostly planning and discussion of what the game, how the game works and whatnot. But let's first start with the interface. We got all our resources listed up here. Little bar indicates how much of the max that we've told them to store. So for instance, our production limit on scraps is 500. We've told them to collect until you get to 500. If you've got an order or a building that collects from it and the limits and it's at 500, don't collect anymore. Just for storage reasons. So we'll look into that deeper there, but all that information is rapidly at a glance here. We start with the two most important, food and water. We're also going to need wood and scraps so that we can then make things like tools and radiation protection, anything from, oh, we've got 15 fancy masks from underneath. Good. It'll take a long time before we can get hazmat suits for the future generations. But then we got medicines and cloth and metals and plastics, electronics, and coal. So as we go up in the tech, all that's going to happen. Rich food. So we got a lot of food that we brought, variety that we brought from the end zone, but that's going to deplete very quickly because we're just not going to be able to replace it very quickly. Does it show us types of food here? I don't think so. Anyways, then we got knowledge, which we'll get into later in a few episodes, I'm sure. The adult population and the child population, we got 10 adults, 5 kids. The average contentedness or discontentedness of the people here, so they're sitting at about medium, even temperedness. Average radiation of all settlers. If this gets too high, your people stop being able to have babies and they start getting more sick, and then you steamroll into a messy fail. Average health is full, and of course the food richness. Down at the bottom we got all these charts. We're not going to look into them now, but just let it be known that there is a ton of charts, and you can seriously geek out on this. Resources. Oh, there we go. There's our food supply. Look, we got water, and we got 600 beans. Well, okay, so I thought we had food supply of food variety, but apparently we just brought a bunch of beans. So everybody needs to, well, give themselves some distance. I hope those hazmat suits hold things out in just as well as out. Okay, so this is our building menu down here, and we can, is it hotkeyed B? Yeah, it's hotkeyed B to bring up all these, so there's a whole variety of them. We'll get into that in a second. Down at the bottom, we've got our current situation. Time of day and weather. It's daytime, no rain. Fine by me. Seasons are effectively like days, but extrapolated as years. It's a bit timey-wimey. Terrestrial radiation, that we got all sorts of overlays, so we can tell what the moisture is and the radiation levels. Click it once, turn on, click it again, any one of them to turn it off. Timestamp over here, and we get about 5 to 6 days worth of heads up. We got our mini map on the right and a whole bunch of other stuff. There's tasks over here, which we will probably get at some point. Notifications, which will probably tell me when all our people are dying, which is going to be sad. The game log of everything happening, and the survival guide. So that's the very quick, very dirty. If you haven't seen it, I did a full tutorial in a previous version, in the early access version. I did a full tutorial on it, and I played other content on it. But we're going to get into this one. So building is an interesting thing in this game, and we have the new feature. If we click on any building like this one, no, not that one, it's a bad choice, right? Any other building like this one, and see this icon up here? Right now, if I place this, it would immediately tell them to start working on it. What I do want to do is click this. Planning mode, brand new. In the planning mode, the construction of newly placed buildings is immediately paused to prevent builders from transporting resources to the respective construction site. This mode is helpful to better planning by placing construction commissions at an early stage, but the pause makes it possible for the construction itself to be carried out later on. So, pretty self-explanatory, it's planning mode. So we're going to hit planning mode for everything going forward. First thing I want to do is probably a little questionable, but I'm going to click on the market. Since we've got a planning mode, we're going to use it. I want this thing kitty-cornered to the bus. The bus is our where we came from. This is how we got here. Apparently we have a Winnebago of some sort. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a Volkswagen. Looks more like a Volkswagen, maybe. I don't know. It's definitely seen better days, and it is currently delivered our 15 population. It was a tough fit for everybody. I love it. The art is brilliant. To this location. Not sure how they got through the roads, through the trees and stuff, but they found a nice big clearing. Now we get to start the important things like planning. So first thing we want to do is put in water and food, like they said, which is what I'm going to immediately ignore. Because we have planning mode, I'm going to go ahead and hold shift and click on cabins. And we're going to place a bunch of cabins because I want to lay this out in a semi-reasonable way. At least I hope it's semi-reasonable. You guys will tell me in the comments what you think of it. I'm going to do this where all the houses are kind of surrounding the centerpiece. I don't know if this is a good idea, but it seems like it'll look pretty at least. At least if they die, they'll die in a pretty city. Maybe. Okay, so it looks a little excessively steampunk with sheet metal and tin everywhere, but alright, that's fine. So it's a little weird. We're looking at it kind of at an odd angle. It looks like it's longer this way than it is this way, but it's not. Same number of tiles vertically as it is horizontally. As in, this market is a square tile that is, how many by how many? I don't know. Is that 4? The houses are 5 by 4. So if we run the houses this way, they're still 5 by 4. See that? So we're not we're rotating we're keeping the same shape of the house. It's a little weird, but I love how it works. Really well planned through. Then what I want to do is put in the. Now I don't know if these have. Yeah, these are not a planning thing. So let's go. Let's say we go click here to start. Go this way and over here. Put in that road, and I think we'll go like maybe a little ways up here and a little ways over here, like that. And then we're leaving all the rest of that off. I'm not going to build the roads to connect the rest of it because the roads don't seem to have, I could be wrong, but the roads don't seem to have a planning mode. So we'll skip that. Next thing I want to do is set up our planned water and food. So we'll start with a jetty down here. We could put them in this way. How can we can get a fishing, maybe we can get a fishing in here as well as a... there, no. The red on the hash, the blue hash has to be on the water. The blue hash marks has to be on the water. The green is where the road will be placed, and in between, I guess, is the building or something. So let's put it right here, as close to that as we can get away with. Then once the water is in, you need to, of course, take that water somewhere, because they can't use it in the they don't just go stick their faces in the pond and drink. They have a nice cistern to put in, which later we can actually make into a water tower that'll let us have the ability to purify the water if it gets contaminated. The lake, this little tiny pond of ours, it's unfortunately small, can definitely get contaminated. And we don't want that. I think we'll put the water... This is a well, so it will also produce water. So I should be explaining these better for the beginners. The jetty is a place that water collectors from the cistern will go pick up water. This doesn't have itself... This has workers, but it's just the construction workers right now. When it's finished, it won't have any workers assigned to it. The cistern will have people that'll run over there, pick up water, and take it back. At nighttime, maybe it's a spot for romantic couples to sit before they go home and make babies. I don't know if that's the case. The well, however, is a different beast altogether. I want it like this, because I want to continue down this way. I'm trying to make the building structure plan in nicely. We want a fishing... Actually, we want some sort of... This is a long ways to go from here to here for the food. There's a food storage, right? There's a food station. Food station is continuously stocked with food and can... okay, stocked with food. So it sounds like... Shorten the route to food intake. It sounds like it's like a little food supply like the market would be. I presume the market does that too, right? A central building... where assigned logisticians amass all the resources from the surrounding areas to make them available to settlers. In addition, settlers can visit the market to increase their confidence. Okay, that's what I want. So I want a food storage. This is water... Oh, this is a watering point, kind of like a food station. But I need a water system. Right? Water point that is constantly filled with water and can consequently shorten the travel... route to obtain water. Now, does this holds water? The bus, I believe, holds water. I think that's what our water storage is. Yeah, there's some sort of water containers there, but that's not ideal. This cistern, they will be able to pick up water, so maybe if we make a watering point, we'll make one up that way. Trading post a little too soon. Decontamination, unfortunately, I don't have plastics and charcoal to make that. So we'll probably make that somewhere over here as well, but for now, let's put in a temporary storage. Building cannot be used to house water, but it will house the other resources. So, I don't know if I can limit it to just water or just foodstuffs. Can I? Oh, I guess I have to let it finish, right? Build next and stuff. No, I'll let that finish and see what it does. Now, let's see about food stuff, because we have now our water source. We got a well that will produce, like I was saying, uncontaminated water. Even in the middle of a torrential downpour of highly acidic or poisonous air or rain, it will produce clean water. It won't produce a lot, but it'll produce some clean water. So hopefully it'll be able to offset those toxic rains and stuff that we'll end up getting. And droughts. When it droughts, this entire jetty will be useless, so will the fishing thing that we're going to put in. So, and we fit the fisherman in beside. Pretty snugly, actually. Not there. There, so he's a bit out of the way. He's a bit back off the road behind the food. That's all right. Logistician, give me roadways for all of these guys, please. Click there and drag. Good. And there. I definitely want the water supply to be accessible. Now this is a little bit offset. Can I move the bus 2 tiles down? And redo the whole thing? Maybe not. Alright, that's fine there. We'll put some sort of beautification stuff in there, I suppose, right? That makes sense to me. This can be like the little junction, and we can put some sort of decorative thing there. Ooh, what do we do? Wind chimes? Let's put wind chimes in there, because why not? What does wind chimes take? Is it excessively? Yeah, it's metal. Let's not put wind chimes in there. A decorative object that increases settlement attractiveness in the vicinity of the object. Ooh. Yes, that's probably what it says for all of them. Okay, that one takes wood and scrap. Scrap and wood, but a little less. Is it small? It's a tiny little one. Street lamps. You can probably actually put them on roads, I imagine. Shrubberies. Tom the shrubber. Scrap totem. What is it? Oh, let's see. Oh, it's a dragon! Ooh, there be dragons. Oh, I like it. Let's put a dragon in here. Oh, he's big. Let's not put a dragon in here. Let's go back to... That's a flower bed. And let's do the wind chimes then, it is. Alright, we might change them later. But it's going to be in pause mode anyways, so we won't use the metals up. But when we can, that'll be purty. So this guy... Actually, hold on. I can deconstruct by that. I don't remember if there's a hotkey for other deconstruction options. Let's see. It provides 3 plus attractiveness to its whatever area. Unfortunately, it's not showing a coverage area directly. Kind of is. There's like a... No, it's not a coverage. I love that this brilliant UI. This part with the lines. See how easy it is to put things in grids? Clearly these guys understand city builders. Because every one of us knows we want lots of roads that work really good and grids. Easy way to place grids. Alright, so I banter on. That's what you're going to get stuck with all day long, guys. Community-wise, well, we got to start with a forum, I think. Help the people get upset at me. No problems there. Let's put them up here. Can we change it so it fits better? Yeah, sort of. Not ideal. Not quite the right mix, but honestly, up there is fine. We can have it line up this way so the main bottom road it works. And of course, that's the forum. So the forum is at the forum. Decrees can be imposed on the settlement that influence the settlers' behavior. So we can tell them, don't do this, or you're free to do that. In addition, selection of settlers' tasks that can be viewed or taken on. So we can basically take on missions, sort of thing with that. But, of course, we don't have the medals for it. So we'll have to get there. The cemetery is something we'll need to put in eventually. The school is something we want to put in sooner rather than later. Where, I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like it will fit nicely in the shape, in the spacing of this. So we could have something like this, right? But I also want to be aware that we need, like, we'll probably have some sort of mining going on in here. I haven't gotten into that stage of things, but we could have a school. Maybe the school would fit better down, like, here. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll have to get into it later. That would go there, leaving a 4-tile space behind it. It's okay. You can put housing straight across from the forum and put it like this way. It's an idea. How about we put it down there and pretend like that's something we'll want to do later. But, of course, again, oh, yes it is, yeah. For a second there I thought it wasn't paused, but yeah, all these things are paused now. Now, next thing I want to look into is resources. We still have not given them a single moment's worth of work. Everything's paused still. So, coming down from the trailer, we'll come down this way because this is where, like, a lot of work needs to be done. We got a fishery. Food-wise, we could use some fields, maybe up here, or here, probably in here, and then expand more fields out past the opening, or move the fields later. We got pastures we'll end up putting in. I think we start with the hunting lodge. Hunting lodges tend to bring in food that is not contaminated in the long run. So if we put, if we put this up here, it might affect housing negatively. So let's leave a buffer. Let's look at a logistics roads. So that's going to be one road through there. And then 1-2 tiles for some sort of beautification stuff. We'll do that. And this. That looks okay. And then we'll have another road right at the place, like, right along here, where the people access these houses. And some sort of road works in here. I can bring this all the way across, actually, so it goes to the storage. And then I think we put in the food. Hunting lodge. Man, I love this planning system. It's so good. Let's put him here. We're going to need food there. We're going to need a gatherer's hut. But right away or not? How much do we have for medicine? Oh, big, giant, fat, whopping 0. That's unfortunate. Well, let's put the logging in next, because we can have these fairly centralized, and they will do both planting and chopping together. So again, two of them, they're paused. They're not going anywhere. And then where do we fit these? How big are these guys? Like this? Or we can fit them like this? That's actually the... Okay. Let's fit them here. These, again, they don't have to have coverage on the... This is the scrap that they're going to pick up. An old wrecked car and scrap pile. What was this? What else do we have? Don't have a clue what that was. There's a something. Somebody's Jeep. Oh, that's a nice rough and tumble Jeep. And somebody's fancy red car that's not so fancy after 150 years. What? Save that dumpster and arcade, please. That's awesome. More car wrecks. What else do we have? What else do we have on this side? Got more wreckage. This is the world left behind. The past. Strange things. What is this? What is this weird thing with arms? Well, we didn't lose history, but we definitely have a different culture than humanity once did. Helicopter, I love it. Awesome. Looks like there's no... Oh, yeah. It looks like this is a spot. So this is an investigation location. So an exploration location. We can send off our crew and they go through and, like, basically on looting missions. It will get into that later on. It's going to be a few episodes before we get that far. But anyways, these guys are going to gather our scraps, which is, of course, right here. And these guys are going to gather wood. Both of those resources, as you can see, are used for pretty much every piece of construction or the upgrades of them. So from these scraps, we're going to need to turn them into, if we look at a recycler, slowly separates metals, cloth, and plastics or electronics. Metals, cloth, plastic, or electronics from scrap. With low efficiency, only one of these resources can be separated at a time. There are much, much better versions of these. We got refineries. A refinery employs lots of refiners who simultaneously separate metal, cloth, plastic, and electronics from scraps. That sounds great, except for it requires technology that we do not have. It requires, well, it doesn't require electronics. It requires metal, and it's just something we haven't. Oh yeah, it must be unlocked through research. That's right at the top. So we have to start with the basic recycling plant where everybody just kind of rolls. Oh, there's a... Can't place it there. What's going on? Ah, scrap pile. That's what's going on. I love how much you can zoom in. Look, we can legit see that there was like a... I don't know, like, it's really cool. There's a friggin' another, like, arcade thing down there. That's really cool. Like, so much detail. So I want, like, 6 of these babies eventually. Something like that. 6 or 8. But I'm going to put them in there. The 5 for now. We'll hopefully get rid of that scrap eventually. Now, thing is, we have scraps and we have wood that produces everything. We have to balance, when we turn things on, we have to balance getting our first our first food and water supply going quick enough that we don't starve and or die of dehydration. On the other hand, if we don't get enough collection right away, we won't have materials to make things. So we got to think very carefully about what we build first. The tip at the beginning did tell us that what we're going to want to do is focus on food and water first. Now we've got a planning command, so we're going to focus on everything first. Because that's how you do it to really make things work well in these games, right? You focus on everything all at once. No, you don't. I'm going to put this road, you know what, we'll put it all the way down there, and we'll do this guy so we can go in front of these 2 recyclers, which will probably be only 1 at a time, come on. Problem is, we have an extremely limited population. We have 10 of us. So we're going to need, I don't know how many families this represents, but I would guess that these adults, I'm hoping it's close to a good gender mix, for baby making, but we have to basically, I'm assuming they're all young adults, maybe? Oh look, we've got 5 kids and it's telling us how far along they are in the growing stage. So next children to become adults are, well, all 5 of them. I think it'll show 5 or 6 maybe in this, by the looks of it. So Sylvia, it looks like the youngest, and Megan looks like she's the oldest, and on her way to becoming an adult very soon. So we should have our 11th adult pretty soon. Hopefully these adults get into houses very quickly and start making more babies, because we need population. So priority is food, water, housing, and then productivity of scraps and wood. We have one more thing we can utilize to make that happen, which is a task down here. So we can tell them to gather all, or remove radiation, or gather just scraps or wood, and basically it's a gather point. So we can toss this beast right over, say, here, and say somewhere where there's not a bunch of stuff. There we go. Let's find this hole to put it in. There we go. Let's put it right there. Boom. Now, that will give tasks to anybody that is on the settler list. In order to build anything, we need to have some actual builders. So we'll assign some of those. In fact, I'm going to go right as far as assigning 5 of those to builders. And then the settlers will do 2 things. They will go over here and collect with this totem here. They'll just collect whatever the totem tells them to in the area around it, and bring it back to the bus. And they will actually gather stuff from the bus and take it to some building site to build it. So I'm going to hold off just a tiny bit. We're going to get the ball rolling here for about 2 to 5 minutes, and then we're going to have to put in a cut for this one. But I wanted to do the whole planning thing and talk and kind of discuss why and what we're doing, so people kind of on the same page as my foggy brain going forward. So all these dotted lines need to be built. Those are roads that will be built by, I don't remember if they're built by settlers or builders. I don't know if they're built by builders or settlers. It's a tough call. I'm not sure. Not a high priority, but unfortunately they will be something they will do. They'll also remove this radiation probably before the building is activated. But let's see. Let's start with getting them in. Let's see. How much wood are we going to be assigning here? 215 for each house, and I think we need like 6 of them. And we'll put these ones probably because they're most central of the facility. 15, that's going to take a lot. That's going to take almost half of our supplies. But then we need to have, say, the cistern and the well? No, let's go with the jetty. It's a tiny bit of wood. That's all it is 16 wood. Okay. Wood, 42 scraps. Yeah, that's going to take a good chunk of the rest of it. So then we're going to have to collect some in order to get the scrapyard going. Or we could do the scrapyard and the woodworking right away, get them started collecting with 1 or 2 people that are more efficient to gather stuff. Wood and scraps first. Alright, let's do it. Let's build this next. Let's activate this one. Let's see. Activate or deactivate. There we go. It's in build mode. We made the decision. Go. And let's turn our time on to slow mode. And we can see the pigs running through our planning session here. This is going to be a little visibly awkward, I think. Can I tilt the map? What is it? Shift or something like that? I don't know if I can tilt the view. Change the vertical view. Okay. So we've got, what are these guys doing? There we go. This young adult, that's good, they're young adults, are heading down here to do stuff. We've got builders that are what? What are you guys off to? You guys are off to there. So you are settlers. That's the ones that are doing the gathering. Okay, settlers, settler, and builders. Okay, so the builders deliver stuff to the building site. All right, good to know. The settlers will pick up this stuff. They will also pick up the material from the scrap place and take it somewhere. So they got people standing around. Oh, these are kids. These are all our chillins. All our chillins are chillin'. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Hello, Dolores. Hello, Cameron. Hello, baby Sylvia. Hello, Megan. Megan's ready to go. Ready to be an adult. Wishing she could get out there and help mom and dad. Or auntie so-and-so. I don't know. We got the delivery of the wood here. So let's pick up now that we kind of get the idea of what's going on. I'm just trying to be as tutorial-ish as I can. As simple walkthrough as I like to do in these city builders early on. So people can kind of get a feel for what's going on. Who's this and what are you doing? This is a young adult. Alessandra. A builder. What are you off to do? Chopping down wood for the building site. Okay. Why are you chopping down wood for that building site? It's a little odd. Let's build this scrap building next. Tell them to make sure that... Oh, there we go. It's going up. All the supplies are delivered. And boom, we have it. Okay, so let's pause things. Now, as a good, I would say, descendant of the banished world, of course, we have all of these jobs that we can assign to things. So we can do that in a few ways. We can assign them in here. For instance, we have... where is it? Not refiner, no. Scrap collectors here. We could assign here, and you notice it changes over here as well. So we can change it on the building, and then we can say this building only has a max of 1. Which means if I put more scrap collectors in here, they won't go to work on this building. Make sense? I only want 1 scrap collector here for now. So now that takes 1 less settler. So that settler doesn't have a choice. They're now going to be... I mean, they love their work. Right, that's it. They're going to be focused, of course, on that. So build this logging camp next. And then I think we're going to start immediately on the food and water. So let's activate that and the cistern. That should get them enough work to get going. And we're going to bring time up with the 1, 2, 3 commands. Let things spin along for a few minutes here. And basically, we now know the how-to. Yes, we've just gone through half an hour, for those of you who watched this far, we've just gone through half an hour where we built nothing but a jetty and a scrap collector. Totally understand. Seems a little weird probably, but I'd rather do this together in a thoughtful process. Next episodes, we'll start to pick up the pace, of course, as we let them get things done. Looks like the radiation is dissolving around, is passing away around that area. It's fading. It's good. Do a bit of chopping. Seems like they do the land clearing in spite of what else is going on. So that's a little odd. I didn't expect them to do that. I didn't expect them to actually do this removal. See? Clear building area and remove radiation. Those jobs are being done in spite of the fact that these construction jobs are paused. So we'll have to take that into account when we're thinking about workload. Whew. There's the school. And on that bell, let's take it out of here. Thank you, everybody, for joining me for the first episode of this series. No idea how long it's going to go. You guys let me know if you're liking it by watching and hitting that like button. That's all I need you to do. If you want to subscribe, you do that. There's a variety of stuff on the channel, so that's your call. But the biggest help would be just to hit that like button. I appreciate it so much. And yeah, join us again for the next episode if you'd like. We're going to continue this play through Endzone in the new Alba here and see what we can do, if we can survive, get a few of these people. Oh, speaking of people, Megan's no longer a child. She's free to work. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you in game.